guys, it's Erica, and today I am here to talk to you guys about my new planner system, and it is bullet journaling. This is the first time I've ever done a bullet journal video, so I am a newbie at this whole thing. So if you're looking for like advanced tips on how to bullet journal, this is not that video. This is me experimenting with bullet journaling for the first time and me just trying to figure it out and showing you how I plan on using it and how I'm currently using it. So this is going to be like my 2019 setup slash flip through, and then also I got a bullet journal for work as well, which I'm not really using it for journaling. This is more for like keeping everything organized and keeping all my meeting notes together. And so I'll be going through this as well. A lot of it will be blurred out though, because I do have like contact information of some of my coworkers as well as my own contact information, and it does have a lot of information about like the projects I'm working on and my program, which it's not necessarily classified, but some information might be proprietary. A lot of it is public information and could be Googled, but I prefer to just kind of like keep it blurred just for the safety of my company and the information. But really what I'm doing is showing you the setup of this and not necessarily like the information inside. So anyway, many of you are probably asking like, whoa, what happened to stickers? What happened to your ring planners? I pretty much sold all of my ring planners, except for the super cheap ones that I got at like Michael's and Hobby Lobby. But I sold all my expensive ones. I do have pocket rings on their way, and that will actually be used as a wallet and kind of like a notes thing to kind of carry around with me in my purse. But my general planning will be in this Scribbles That Matter bullet journal. And so we'll talk about more why I switched at the end, but for now let's go ahead and go through the setup and flip through, since that's what most of you guys are probably curious about. So let's go ahead and start with the work one. I think this one will go by faster because there's a lot less information about it, and like I said, a lot of it will be blurred. This notebook is a Leuchtturm 1917. It is a hardcover A5 in the color Berry. And the reason why I tried two different notebooks is because in general I just wanted to see which one I liked better. And I really like the Scribbles That Matter better because the paper's thicker, so I can use a lot more pens on this one. Unlike this one, there's a lot more bleed through, but honestly it's not a big deal because this is for work, so I won't be using like colors or highlighters or pens really. I mean, I might a little bit, but not too much. I'll basically be using pencil and a simple pen, and so I really don't need anything special as far as paper goes. Right up front, I'm gonna go ahead and probably blur this area, but it has my address, my email, and my phone number here. So this has your name, your information, and then it says Leuchtturm 1917. And then right on the inside we have our index. This actually comes pre-made with 3 pages of indexing. And so I have here like all the things that I've already put in here. So I have my key, my year at glance, future log, my team information, acronyms, facility drawings, missile reference, and meeting notes. And then as I fill this out, I will be using the index for sure. Next, I have my key, which I hand wrote out. So this is like some basic ideas for keys that I found on Instagram and on various blogs and YouTube. I messed up what was in here, so I just kind of colored it in and then ended up just boxing it around and adding some shadows. The next page, I was going to do something decorative here. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet, but it's going to be pretty much like a 2019 dashboard, and then here's my actual year at a glance. And then for this year, my biggest thing is balance. You can do anything, but not everything. That was something I struggled with really badly last year, trying to figure out how to be a mom, how to run the shop, and how to work at the same time. And you guys can probably hear Penny. She's over here on this side, and she's just kind of rolling around. She's got some Disney playing in the background. So that's my year at a glance. And then I have my future log. This is where I'm going to mark, like, we have off Fridays, and I accidentally highlighted the wrong days, which is why Thursdays are marked, or no, Saturdays are marked, but it's actually off Fridays are what's marked in blue. And then here I'm going to put like project dates and important events, or like if I'm traveling for work, like that's the stuff I'm going to be putting in my future log. So I have the first 6 months here, and then the second 6 months here. And I did use a mild liner to color the months. So I mean, I am using a little bit of highlighting, but not a ton. And then I just put some washi tape up here because it was blank and I wanted it to have something. Okay, so this next page is the team members page, which has all of my coworkers' information in it. So this has all my team names, their work, their cell phones, their emails, and then I have their birth dates. And then the next page are acronyms. These are common acronyms I use at work, and sometimes I can never remember them and people are like, what does that mean? I'm like, hold on, let me look it up. So then I have a page just for acronyms. And then I have another blank page because I know this list is gonna grow, so I left a blank spot for that. The next one is the facility engineering drawings. So I work for facility engineering on the Trident missile program. And so I wanted a page that referenced all the various drawing numbers because we talk about drawings a lot. And sometimes they're like, oh, what drawing is that? And so I can go back and reference this. This has like a list of the drawings and the drawing numbers. And again, there'll be more for that, so I left another extra page. And then the next page is like missile reference. This is information about our Trident missile system. Sometimes I don't always remember things, and so this is just kind of like general information for me to reference in case somebody asks, or like I can't remember something, I can always go back and look at this as reference. And I left another extra page because there's just tons of information. And then the next section is meeting notes. So this is where I'm going to be taking my notes. And as I get into a better system, I'll start marking the date and then what type of meeting it is. And then as I start filling this out, I'll start filling out my index so that I know what meetings are on what pages. And then I'm also going to start using either washi tape or some highlighters on the edges of the pages so that I'll be able to find meetings easily on the spine. I've seen people do that for bullet journaling. But in general, that's what this is going to be for work. So really, I just have a bunch of reference information at the beginning, and then my notes throughout the year. And then as I go through, I'll add like project information or more contact pages if I need them. But that's what I'm using the bullet journal for work. And then I have some random vinyl in here because I do want to put some sort of engineering quote on the front with some vinyl. So I put these pieces in here to remember to make that. And then in the back, I did do a sizing chart. So this essentially counts across how many dots there are across and then how many there are going down. And then this box kind of references, like if I want to do 2 columns, at most it can be 19 dots tall, or 13 dots wide. And then if I want 3, the largest I can do is 13 up, 8 across, or if you want 4, so things like that. So if I need 7 columns, then at most they can only be 5 dots tall or 3 dots wide. So this is just kind of like a guide for me if I need to do columns and rows and things like that. So that's it for this guy. There is also their little print about their information, and there is a back pocket over here, and I have some notes in here, and then just some extra things that I need to add to my notebook. So that's it for my work bullet journal. Pretty straightforward as far as what I'm using it for. It's mostly just like a notes notebook, and I just really wanted a nice notebook versus just like a spiral notebook, and I like that this is more organized and it has index. And I do love that the pages are numbered so that I can put it in the index so everything's easy to find if I need it, versus using a million bookmarks and all that good stuff. So that is it for work. Let's go ahead and go into the personal one. So this is a Scribbles That Matter. This is also a hardcover. The Leuchtturm, I believe, has 192 pages, and this has, I think, like 184 or something like that. Oh, wait a second. This has 213. I'm confused. I remember reading something that says that the Scribbles That Matter has less. Okay, I'm way off. The Leuchtturm has 250 pages. I don't know where I got 192. And the Scribbles That Matter has 213. But I do want to mention the Scribbles That Matter is thicker because even though it has less pages, the paper itself is thicker. I'm going to be using this throughout the entire year. At least that's my plan. The front, of course, has the who this belongs to, name, phone number. And when I started, it was December 22nd. And then I added a Planner Press sticker pocket. in the front, so haven't really put anything in there yet. And then right on the front, I had this dashboard for my A6 rings, and even though I disassembled it and sold my rings, I really loved this dashboard, so I kept it in here and I just taped it in with some of my faux washi tape. And then there's the cover page, Scribbles That Matter, A5 dotted journal. And then right at the front, it actually has a key for you, so you don't have to draw one out. It's already got like the bullet code and color code if you're gonna color code anything. So then I just put all of my little icons here. I use the same icons in this as I did in my other one. And then of course I have my index. As you can see, I've already used whiteout in here. You'll see I've used a lot of whiteout in here because I'm just totally new to this, and even though I wrote everything in pencil first and then wrote back in with pen and then erased it, I still mess up, like a lot. So as you can see, I already have a lot of stuff already filled out. So we'll just kind of go through it. And of course they include more index pages. And then here you can see a little bit of bleed through of what I originally did, but I really didn't like it. So I created a sticker and I covered it up. And then I just added some highlighter to it, and then I just drew some deco around it. And then again, I have the same quote, the balance. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. I just have to remind myself that every single day, because balancing life is so tough that it makes me like anxious and depressed. And I was dealing with a lot of depression, anxiety, and stress last year that I was actually put on Zoloft for a while. And the biggest thing was I kept trying to do everything, and you really can't. Like, you really just have to decide what's important and find balance, and so that's why I want to do that this year. And then I just added some washi, some deco. And then this is my year at a glance page. Again, I used my mild liners to highlight. And the pen I was using in here, I switched between a Staedtler Inkjoy gel pen as well as a Micron Pigma, which I don't have with me right now. So I just kind of went back and forth between pens. Quite honestly, I prefer the Pigma, but my daughter messed up the tip on it. The felt tip is all bent, so I can't really use it anymore. So right now I've been using the Inkjoy, and I totally, you guys can see, I totally messed this up like really, really badly. And I tried to white out some areas and it worked on some spaces, but some spaces were so bad that I had to just take white sticker paper and just cover the whole thing. So this is super ghetto, but this is my future log. So like the other planner, I had the 6 months, but because this is my personal, I have more things marked down. I have off Fridays, no school/holidays, travel days, birthdays, anniversaries, and then events. So they're color coded. They're like travel and events. I don't have anything marked yet because we haven't decided anything this year. Eventually, if we do decide to do something, I'll start writing it down. And then of course, you know, we have again all these holidays and days off and things like that. And this is the second page, and again more washi. Then the next section is my kiddos section. This has like their doctor's information, their birthday, their school information. So this area has a lot of personal information, but it's more for reference for me. And then the next page I have is my social media. So I'm going to be capturing my social media. So I wrote the start date, December 26th. Then I have my Instagram and YouTube, what I actually started with. And then I actually have been dropping in Instagram followers, I think because one, I hadn't been very active recently, and two, I'm switching like my planner style. So I've been losing some followers, but I'm okay with that. I just kind of wanted to like track it and see how I'm doing and see how much it shifts based on like what I'm doing on social media. The next, I wanted a mild liner reference. So I took all my zebra mild liners and then I created these boxes. I wrote them out and then wrote in pen their actual color names so that I can reference these colors. Then I also, my husband and I kind of follow this like block schedule, which I found on YouTube. If I can remember the channel name, I will share it with you, but she has this like phenomenal video about how to manage your day better and be more effective with your day by doing everything in blocks. And so this is how I set up my block schedule, and I wrote everything in pencil because the blocks change frequently. And right now what's written here is how we do things as it is. But essentially our blocks are broken down from 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 5, 5 to 8, and 8 to 10, and 10 to 6. And so far, since implementing this block schedule, we have definitely become more effective with what we do, when we do it, and how we do it. And it definitely works. It definitely works. We're not as rigid about it as we should be, but yeah, totally works. You guys should look at it if you guys are finding yourself wasting a lot of time during the day and not getting a lot of things done when you're like, how did I lose all this time? The block schedule totally helps. Okay, the next thing is a groceries master list. These are things that we buy often or frequently, or things that we like to keep in stock in our house. And so anytime we're like, okay, we need to get groceries, I kind of go through this list to see, okay, do we need onions, garlic, potatoes, tomatoes? Yes, 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 no, no, no. So then I can go to this list, and then I have the Wonderlist app that my husband and I share. We use this to track our groceries, and we have a bunch of shared lists. And the beautiful thing about this is, like, anything I put on this list, my husband will see. And so then if he decides to go grocery shopping without me, he knows what I need. And then if I go without him, or I forget to put something on the list, he can put on the list and I'll see it. Like, it's instantaneous. We have packing lists on here. We have grocery lists. We have regular shopping lists. We even have, like, if we went shopping or we want to go and do a party, like we had a baptism, so I put a guest list on here, and then we listed all the gifts that we had. So we just use this for everything. So then I will go through here and then add the list on here so that my husband and I can communicate. Okay, the next is my January setup. So this is like the monthly part. So this is my January like overview. I really don't like that I started on Sunday, so in February I'm going to start on Monday, because I don't know if you noticed, but here I started them all on Mondays. And even in my husband's calendar that I created him, they start on Mondays. Like, Mondays are better for us because our work schedule is based on Monday. So anyway, and then down here I wrote down, okay, birthday cards. Have I mailed them out or even bought them? I mailed it out and bought it, so that's gone. And then this is my January habit tracker. And so I did not pick a very good system with these colors. Like, had I picked them better, I would not have put these next to each other. Like, I just randomly picked colors as I was filling out day 1, and then when I went to day 2, I was like, oh crap, these colors don't really work well. But I already started it, so I'm just gonna stick with it, and next month I'm gonna fix it. So these are my habit trackers. This is tidy up every, like, at least 15 minutes before bed. So this is kind of like something I really want to get into the habit of doing, is like cleaning before we go to bed, because my daughter will like trash the house and then we'll wake up and we'll be all stressed out. So like, I want to make sure that part of our night routine is to just pick up toys, at least spend 15 minutes just picking things up, and that's like a huge deal. The other thing is, I just recently saw my dentist, and essentially I just need to floss more. So flossing is one thing. The other thing is, I brush my teeth every day, and my husband does too, but we are really bad about pushing Gabby to brush her teeth. And so, like, she'll literally go like a whole week without brushing her teeth. Like, it'll be really bad. So I decided to put this down on my habit tracker. And so far, as of like mid-December, she's been brushing her teeth every other day, which is better than nothing, but it's still pretty bad. Dishes, I need to be better about doing them every day because they pile up really badly. The other thing is, I need to get better at getting up at 6:30, because when I don't get up at 6:30, our block schedule kind of doesn't really work. So I need to be better about getting up on time. These two kind of coincide with each other. I want to start cooking more and eating out less, so I'm tracking both of those. The other thing, I don't know why I put this on here, because I don't wash my hair every day, so I don't really need to track this. But I kind of put it on here because I want to see how much I really do wash my hair. And so far it's been like every other day. Sometimes I'll be good and I'll go like 4 days without washing it. And it makes such a huge difference. Like, not washing your hair every day, it makes a huge difference. Anyway, bullet journaling, this one was kind of stupid because I'm in a bullet journal every day. I don't know why I marked this one, because this, I bet you this whole thing will be just completely full. It'll shock me if that's not. And then the other thing is getting to bed by 10 o'clock. Like, sometimes I get really caught up in things and I end up not going to bed at a decent hour and not getting a good night's sleep. So that's something I really, really want to track. Then the next page is my weeklies. So I actually started this in December. So as you can see, I kind of like marked it off like, hey, this isn't really in January, but I got so anxious, I really wanted to try it. Plus I needed to do a transition of going from like sticker planning to bullet journaling. So this was my transition page. This was the page that I was like, okay, this is my last ditch effort to use stickers before I like go on full bullet. And so I used a little traveler's notebook kit, like one from my shop. Penny's having fun over here. And I just did kind of like vertical columns and then just some extra sidebars, like a little to-do list, dinners, dishes, things like that. So this was my first week, last week of December. And then I officially started January. So this is the first week of January. And I tried a different layout for this week. I did horizontal, so we've got like kind of our first horizontal, then we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Today I'm filming right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a box here for film setup. And then I'll put a box here for edit. So that's that. And then at some point we're gonna go to Disney today, and then I need to put down Mass and Adoration here. Other than that, we don't really have anything big. Oh, and we need to go grocery shopping, so I'm going to put that down too. So, if it has a slash through it, that means I've started. If it has multiple lines, that means I've completed it. And if it's an open box, that means it's a to-do item. If I didn't do it at all, and I don't know when I'm going to do it, I just put a line through it. If it's something that I'm going to do the next day and I know I'm going to move it over, I just put an arrow through it. If I for sure know I'm not going to do it, then I'll just literally just cross it out. So that's kind of like my key so far. And then I did go ahead and fill out different layouts for the next few weeks because I wanted to try something different. So this, I did like halves. I did essentially 1, 2, 3 columns per page, and then half for each of the days. Then the next I did horizontal, and then the next week I'm gonna do vertical, and then split, and then just like a note section in the bottom. Then the following week I'm doing like quads, and then I did not decide what I'm gonna do for the next few weeks, but I wrote them in pencil so at least I'd save the pages for them, because I realized I wanted new sections. And so I went ahead and finished January, and then I added a new little life section. So this one is the when did I last section. And then as you can see in the index, I wrote 15 through 26 is all my January weeks, and then 27, page 27, is when did I last. So then, and then the next page is lettering ideas. So I like the index because instead of like worrying, oh man, I need to save some pages, what I do is I just do it on the next page, and just do it on the next page. And then as long as I index it, I can find it later. So I went ahead and saved the few pages I needed for January, and then went ahead and just stuck this in here. So this has things that don't happen all the time, like oil changes, our annual physicals, my woman's checkup, when our dogs do their annual appointments, when we do our dental visits and our eye exams. So these are things that we don't do often, but sometimes we're like, when did I go to the dentist? I don't even remember. Luckily, we just did them in December. But like, eye exams, they're blank, because I can't remember when Tino and I both went and got our eyes checked. So that's the when did I last page. And then I wanted to do a page that had some lettering ideas for each of the weekly spreads. So then this is just like my regular print. This is like my script print. This is like my little blocking lettering, and then these are like dot lettering. And then I may have another lettering page later on because I am learning how to do hand lettering. But this was just a reference for now. And then this starts February. And so I already I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I already started penciling in how I wanted to do February. And then I'll do my February habits here. And then I penciled in each of the weeks for February, so that if I do want to do another new section, and then this is the last week for February going into March. So then if I want to do something new, like I was thinking about doing a page dedicated to my girls' daily schedule, like when their nap routines are, when we do lunch, snack, breakfast, things like that, like what they do at school, so that we can implement that at home, so that they stay on schedule throughout the weekend, so that it doesn't like mess up their schedule. Like that's something we're really bad about, is we don't really follow the school schedule when we're home. So then the kids kind of get out of whack, and then when they go back on Monday, they're like a hot mess. So like my next section, I kind of want to do something for my girls. I also want to do like a snack meal idea, and so I can do that here, or I can go ahead and go into March. But before I jump into March, I want to like wait, and then once I get like midway through February, like right now February's in pencil, because until I finish January, I'm not gonna put in pen on February, and I'm not gonna start March until I'm like really ready for March, because then that like keeps the pages open for me to add more sections and more things, which is why I really like the bullet journal system. Because quite frankly, like the biggest reason why I switched from ring planners to bullet journaling is, one, my coworker has a bullet journal for work, and she has a bullet journal for personal. Her bullet journal for personal is an A4, which is essentially this size. Like it's an A4, it's gigantic. But her work notebook is an A5. And I love how she has her notes marked with washi tape, so then she knows like, okay, we had an engineering working group, I go to the washi tape that's here. We had a requirements working group, I go to the washi tape here. We had a team meeting, she'd have washi tape marked here. So she could find the meetings just by looking at the spine and where she had washi tape, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius. So I wanted a bullet journal just for work, period. I was like, hands down, I need a bullet journal for work, because I was trying to use a ring binder and it just wasn't working. It was too small. They were A6 size pages, which A6 is exactly half this size, so this is an A6 size. And this just wasn't enough space for what I needed to write down for work. It was not enough space. For planning, it was fine. For work, it was not working. So I sold my A6 rings that I used for work, and I bought a bullet journal. And as soon as I started filling this out for work, I immediately was like, I want a personal one. And then my coworker, who also uses a bullet journal, she was walking me through hers and how she uses it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. And the one thing that I missed about my Erin Condren, even though I still used my Erin Condren for 2018, July through the end of the year, I didn't use it for the first half of the year, is that I liked that all of my plans were all in one notebook. But what I liked about my ring planner is I had to-do lists in there, I had a perpetual calendar in there, I had my kids' information in there, I had personal information in there. So what I liked about ring planners is that you could put whatever sections you needed in your ring planner. You could swap them out, you can print new inserts, you could take things out, you can put things in, and I really liked the fact that you could take things out and put things in. Like, there was so much flexibility. But the thing that I didn't like is that at the end of every month, I would have to take out that entire section and put in a new section, and there just wasn't enough space to keep like an entire year in one notebook, which is what I liked about Erin Condren. It's all 1 year in one notebook. And when I saw my coworker, she had her entire year in one notebook, and it wasn't even full. I mean, it was fat. It was like you couldn't close it. Like the pages were all like bowed out like this. Like it was fat because she puts cardstock and stickers and everything. Like it was a fat notebook. Like you could not close it. But she had her entire year in one notebook, and personal information, and birthdays, and contacts, and her doctor's office, and her medication. Like everything was in one notebook. And I was just like, but how does that work? Because you can't take the pages out. You can't move them around. You can't move your kids section from here to over here, and then you've got kids pages here, and then you have some kids pages here, and then you have some food here. And she's like, well, it doesn't matter because you have an index. Like that's why you have an index. The index is everything. The index is what makes the bullet journal work. Without the index, you're really not using the system. Sorry, it just cut off. So unless you just like memorize your pages or you use the washi tape system, like it's really hard to know where anything is in a notebook. But if you do everything consecutively and you do things in order, then you kind of know where January is and where February is and where your months are. But if you have like sections that are not date related, like when did I last, or lettering ideas, or like my kids info, the index is what saves you, which is phenomenal about Scribbles That Matter and Loose Term, as they both include page numbers. Like a lot of bullet journals do not include page numbers. So that was the biggest reason why I picked these two brands, because of that. And so I am super crazy excited. I literally use my bullet journal like 3 or 4 times a day. I'm constantly writing in it. I'm constantly thinking of new ideas. And then with my work notebook, this goes with me everywhere. And I actually keep both of these in my purse because they're just so convenient. They're really slim. They don't take up a lot of space. And they're just really clean and just nice. Like my Erin Condren's just really big and bulky. And the ring planner I had was really fat. It had 25mm rings, and then the leather on top of it, and the back pocket, and the die cuts and the stickers. It was just really fat. And the two notebooks together are actually thinner than my A6 rings were. So that is like the biggest reason, was 1, space saving, and 2, having everything all in one place. Like that to me is what sold me on the bullet journal, and I'm really, really excited about it. And the other reason why I haven't done February yet isn't because like I'm waiting for anything, because I'm pretty ready to fill out February. It's just I kind of want to film my February setup. I don't do super pretty drawings. Some people do super pretty drawings. I really don't do any of that stuff. As you saw, my January is pretty basic. It's just lines and sticker headers. I created myself headers. And then I just added the numbers because, quite frankly, I didn't want to write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday over and over again. There is a back pocket in here. And so, you know, I have my little ruler back here. So really, you know, I do kind of want to film how I'm setting up February, and then just kind of show you guys how I do it, what I do. Like I said, other than the day-to-day, everything I do, I write in pencil first. And then I write over it in pen, and then I erase. But for like the day-to-day, I just write direct with pen, which is why I have whiteout areas here. Like here, this whole section I tried to white out. I messed up. I ended up making stickers. So some areas I just white out because I literally write straight in with pen. But like a setup section, I write in with pencil, and then I'll go back in with pen. So yep, that is it for my setup. I know this was a really long video, but I wanted to show you 2 notebooks, and I also wanted to like explain why I want to go to bullet journaling. Bullet journaling definitely is not for the faint of heart. It is not for everybody because it is a lot of writing, it is a lot of setup, and it takes a lot of time to set this up. I didn't film my setups for either of these because it took me over 2 weeks to set both of these up because I have kids. I don't have the ability to sit down for a few hours and just film. And honestly, in total, like if I just took all the times that I sat down, it probably took about 2 to 3 hours to set both of these up. But it took me 2 to 3 hours over 2 weeks time to do it because I have kids. So this is just a fortunate time for me to film because the biggest one is napping and the little one is super chill. She's like literally sitting over here. So that's the only reason why I'm able to do this. And I have a new filming setup. You guys probably can't see it, but I should definitely take a picture. So anyway, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry that this was very long and very chatty, but if you guys have seen my videos in the past, you know that if I haven't filmed in a while, I'm gonna chat your ear off. And yeah, oh, and if I haven't talked to you in a while, I have 2 kids now. If you haven't been following me on Instagram, I have 2 children. My second daughter is 6 months old and my first daughter is 2.5. So yeah, life has totally changed the game. As far as the shop is concerned, I'm doing a little bit, but I'm not doing a lot because I am working again and I have 2 kids now. So don't like expect a huge like increase or change in the shop stuff because that's kind of like here or there. But yeah. Anyway, that is it. I will stop talking and I will let you guys get on with your day, but I hope this was helpful for you, seeing how I set this up, how I use it, and why I use it, and maybe it'll inspire you to give it a shot as well. Like I said, it's not for everybody. You have to be interested in setting it up. You have to be interested in writing your own thing. And the other thing I forgot to mention is the other reason why I wanted to do bullet journaling is because I don't always want to write vertical lists like this. I don't always want to be in horizontal. I don't, you know, that was the thing with the Erin Condren or with the Ring planners. Like, you would print out an entire month and you would be stuck with that format for a month. And if you didn't like it, you could print new ones, but then now you've got like 2 different formats, 2 different inserts, and the dates didn't always match up. And usually when you print inserts, you can't just print 1 week. You end up having to print the entire month, so then you waste paper. So here, I get to try a different format every week. And if I love one format, then I can just do the same format every week for the rest of the year. And if I don't, then I can switch to something else, which is what I love about the bullet journal. You can do whatever you want, you can experiment, and if you don't like it, you can glue the pages together and just start over. I have yet to do that, but I have a feeling I will someday. So another reason why I'm bullet journaling. But again, you have to be willing to be creative and to like put the work in. And if you're not willing to do that, don't spend the money, don't get started, because it is a lot of work. But if you're interested in that, if you like doing that, if that like sounds fun and exciting for you, then I highly recommend giving it a shot. There are definitely some cheaper notebooks out there to try out. These 2 are both $20 each, and I got both of them on Amazon. So anyway, that is it, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys! Oh, and I forgot to mention, in the very back page, there's a pen test page. So if you have new pens and you want to test whether they bleed, ghost, smear, whatever, there's a page for that in the Scribbles That Matter notebook. And then I also created another reference guide in the back of my Scribbles That Matter, and they happen to be the same dotted grid, 5mm dot grid, so they ended up being the exact same measurements. Again, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This shows the height, this shows the width. So yeah, I was about to take a picture of this and then I realized I didn't film it, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just show you real fast. Anyway, that's it. Bye guys!